Yeah, what you saying to me, Big Strives, B? What you saying to me, my brother?
Yes. What you saying, man? What you saying, Big Doug?
Hey, come on,
Good
man.
to
We're
be back, man. Hey, the first episode, man. We got some good feedback, you know.
I got some
Good feedback on that last one we did. Still,
so that's why we had to run it back
yeah,
again.
we
You
had to go
know
again.
what I'm saying? So yeah, man.
Big you up, man.
Just to start off, I'm gonna introduce myself. Big Doug in the building. You done know the settings. You get me? I got my boy Strives with me here today. You done know Loose Cannon. For those that don't know, yeah, me and Strives argue all the time about Arsenal. You get me? So I said it's only right we do something out here, and you know what I mean. Talk about these things. Talk about Arsenal. Get into the nitty gritty and share our views because we both like have mad like different views, even though we want the same goal. I like.
No, 100%, man. Couldn't have put it any better myself, man. But yeah, it's your boy Strives. You can call me Striver. And yeah, man, I'm glad to be invited back by the homie Doug, Big Doug. Hey, bye. Hey, we've been going at it. We've been going at it this week, you know. And I said to him, you know what, man? Let's run this back, man. Let's get back on the platform, man. People need to hear these discussions.
Hey, look at this, Calvin straight in with Wasteman, you know. Hey, Calvin, allow me, bro. Calvin in there sending insults from the jump, you get me? But yeah, we're good, man. Come on, man. Big up. You done know. So first and foremost, yeah, this is a serious one. We just wanna, you know what I mean, share and give our condolences to Diogo Jota and his brother Andreas, who sadly passed away this week in a car accident. You get me? So we just wanna, you know, show our respects and that. And he was one of them players, brother, that caused us nightmares, you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, definitely, man. It was one of those periods, yeah, where like I remember that morning actually, and yeah, the group chats were popping. Everyone's just, you know, we're going for it. We're talking about transfers, whatnot, and then boom, that breaking news comes out, and all of a sudden, like the mood becomes somber. Everybody's, you know what I mean? Everyone's quiet. You know, everyone don't really feel the same. I was actually getting cooked by Liverpool fans all week because of my cameo on Podcast Pundits. And even I was giving it back. But then after that, it's like we all just became one family kind of thing because ultimately, like, you've got to put rivalries to the side sometimes. You've got to put football rivalries to the side. And it's humanity comes first, man. And footballing aside, yeah, like obviously Andre Silva, Diogo Jota, brilliant ballers. I didn't watch Andre Silva too much, but obviously Diogo Jota plays in the Premier League for Liverpool. Brilliant footballers. But just as family men, losing a brother, losing a son, losing a dad, you know what I mean, losing a nephew, but it's not easy for anybody, man. And my heart goes out to them, man. So big respects to their family, my condolences to the family. And man, we just want to honor Diogo Jota before we kick off. And yeah, man, that guy, man, it was a pleasure watching him, even when he was freaking sinking my heart playing against us.
Multiple occasions. I'll never forget when Tavares gave the ball away to them. Remember we was playing them? Tavares won the ball in the corner and then passed it to Jota, and he just jinxed his way through a couple man and slotted it like genius. He was a genius still.
Honestly, man, this guy would just pop up. Like if he weren't starting, you'll be like, okay, cool, yeah, at least, you know, maybe a goal ain't coming through. And then this guy will come on the pitch and sometimes score anyway. Like it was a pleasure to watch. And man, he's not only is he a big loss to his family, but he's a big loss to the game, man. A big loss to the game, big loss to Liverpool. So yeah, man.
And the fans, and shout out Liverpool because the fans have been through it. They've had a lot of madness been going on with them over the years, and even at their parade, they had a madness there. So, you know what I mean? Just shout out them because like it's a lot.
One thing after the other, innit?
Yeah, one thing after another. So it's a lot for them, man. So yeah, big up the Liverpool, man. Them condolences to the families and that. And yeah, man, we just wanted to start off this one by paying our respects and that, and going, you know what I mean, and showing our love, and that we're all united in this football team. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Boy, heavy stuff, man. Heavy stuff. And going with your brother as well, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah,
heavy stuff.
Hard for the family, but yeah, man. All right, so let's jump straight in. Because at the moment, recently,
what you got for me, man?
I feel we should start with the controversial stuff, and I feel like we're gonna talk Thomas Partey.
Oh, he start. Oh, is that where we're going?
Hey, Thomas, blood clot party, yeah?
Mm.
Now, my thing with the whole party situation and this whole thing is that more than anything, listen, man, I want to show, like, first and foremost, say, yeah, like, what is the allegations and anything? We over here, we don't tolerate none of that. Do you get what I'm saying? We're not into that. We don't tolerate it. We're not supporting of it. We're not. We're not about all of that. You get me? And I just hope that the victims and the people that have been affected by this are getting the right treatment and getting looked after properly, and everything's for them. More than anything, my thing that I want to touch on is the fact that, like, fan bases like use these kind of situations as point scoring. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Without using common sense, like, I feel like a club like Arsenal, with the way that they move and like the respect that they have within communities and everything that they're doing here, I don't feel like these, I mean, that Arsenal would set out to kind of harbor that kind of player in their midst, knowing that this is what the man is doing out there. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, it goes without saying. As I mean, like you touched on, like any like victim, alleged victim, anyone that obviously we're gonna say alleged victim because the case is still open, yeah. But just any victim of that kind of those kind of allegations, kind of thing, our heart goes out to them. They need the support. And you know what I'm saying, and it's very tough as well for them to actually get justice as well. It's such a nuanced topic, and it can get really dark. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. But then also on the flip side, for the accused as well, it can also get very dark. Do you get what I'm saying? Because unfortunately, for those that are actually suffering, there's been so many people that have misused that allegation as a weapon. That ultimately it's made it harder for the actual victims to get justice sometimes. So so when you're even the accused, sometimes it can get dark because you may be innocent, but if you're not innocent, then you deserve everything that's coming to you. So let's compartmentalize that, and let's talk about the matter at hand. In the fact that Thomas Partey was once upon a time an Arsenal football player. He's not an Arsenal player no more. When the news broke, they broke it as a former Arsenal player. He's not an Arsenal player no more. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, once upon a time he was an Arsenal player, and the outroar and the outrage, in my opinion, has been unfounded. It's been unjust. It's been unjust. I think Arsenal handled it superbly.
100%. And like YNOT saying here, Shaz will like his title, Arteta is a loser. Yeah, you will like that because I know that's Shaz's outlook on the whole Arteta thing. And we'll get to that, but it's true. And it's true, like, charged but not convicted. I believe the club did what was legally correct, not morally. And I think in terms of, like, I don't want. We don't.
What do you mean morally? So this is what this is where I want to go with it, because you're saying morally, but then this is what I'm trying to talk about. It's like you've got because at the moment we're dealing with an accusation, yeah. So if we're dealing with an accusation, therefore we just know that someone has been accused of doing something, and we don't know if they're guilty or not. So that person deserves their day in court to either defend. And what we do know is the guy in question, Thomas Partey, has outright denied allegations, and therefore it's going to have to go to trial. So when we're talking about morally, there's two coins to it. There's two sides to this coin, because you could say that morally this guy is an absolute monster if it's true what he's done. Like, and how can you harbor such a person at your club, like what the comment is saying? But then what if he's innocent? Do you get what I'm saying? Because then if he's innocent, then you've got the other side of it where he's like, well, the club now has maybe behaved in the correct way, people might say. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so nuanced. But the way I try to look at it is, at the end of the day, we've seen similar cases. This is what people talk about. They've spoken about the Mason Greenwood one. Now, the thing is, why he was tried by social media was because videos came out. We have audio came out. You get what I'm saying? So there was the plausibility. You know what I mean? It wasn't plausible. Like, we saw and we heard. You get what I'm saying? And then what's it with Mendy? He was charged before he got suspended, and even then he was then still able to sue Man City. what's it? The Johnson, what's his name? Adam Johnson, whatever his name is.
Adam Johnson. Yeah.
Obviously, it was it with minors or something? It was with minors, isn't it?
Yeah.
So that is just, that's, if you ask me, like, immediately that puts an even dirtier taste in your mouth, innit? Just for the fact that it's with minors. All of these things were just different topics.
Yeah.
But until they became charged, that's when their clubs dealt with anything.
Yeah.
You can't, a man that deserves his right to privacy. It's like people are trying to rewrite English law. Yeah, I'm trying to say rewrite English law. It doesn't make sense. Like, I can write. I've read this piece on from the Athletic where they say they were unable to name him for legal matters. So they're unable to name him for legal matters, but they want a big Arsenal football club who are run by like institute. Like they're lawyers. Their backgrounds, our owners, and they're lawyers anyway. So I'm pretty certain they're very well versed in the law. Yeah.
And I would have thought there would have been like internal investigations. Obviously, they would have looked into this deeply. And I think someone I saw in another comment made a strong point at the fact that legally, if you was to like sack a person based on an allegation without facts, like it could bring in, like, because it's an employer at the end of the day. Do you get what I'm saying? It's not, it's football and we're all passionate about football, but at the end of the day, same like within your working environment as a job, like if something happens within your job, it has to be investigated internally, and it also has to be a police investigation. So I think, me personally, from my own personal opinion of it, I thought the club has acted as best as they could, I suppose. You get what I'm saying?
I'll go as far as saying they handled it perfectly, bro.
Yeah, because now people want to so desperately connect what's going on with Partey to Arsenal, but he's no longer an Arsenal player. And that is what it is, long and short. This happened after his contract didn't get extended. And maybe that is probably part of the reason why it didn't get extended. Do you get what I'm saying? And Norgard came in. We just don't know. And until, some form of, facts or some sort of information comes out, we won't know. So we can only speculate on what we think. Do you get what I'm saying? But
it's just what it is. It's a mudslinging exercise. It's just like, here's an opportunity to beat Arsenal with the stick. Let's do that. But in my opinion, it's baseless. It's baseless. Like, at the end of the day, the guy he had these. I think it was a 3-year investigation. This guy was bailed a couple of times. So this isn't a new situation. So obviously the club would have had the conversations with the player, like you said. They would have done their internal investigations, and obviously they would have been in contact with the CPS, I guess, or the police to some extent, because I guess the police can't compromise their own investigations as well. So with everything that's been made public to them or known to them, and obviously respecting the privacy of the situation, and also you've got to do safeguarding to the victims or alleged victims as well. You can't just be out there just throwing out people's business.
100%.
You know what I mean? It's like the worst kept secret. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was the worst kept secret. But if we now go and suspend the man, we basically said that we basically expose this guy's private matter. We can't do that.
Or even made him come across guilty before, like, you know what I'm saying? Before
your career's finished. Your career's finished, bro. Look how many people that have come back, cleared their name, and then their careers ain't the same. Sigurdsson. I swear he's I don't even know where he's playing at the moment. Everton got rid of him ASAP, bro. But I swear he cleared his name in the end. But his career ain't been the same. All of these people. So man, it's just like, for me, I saw it. I'm like, okay, guys are trying to get onto Arsenal, but bro, I'm just giving them. My response is I ain't even paying it no mind. I'm like, bro, first of all, he's a former Arsenal player. It's not our business no more. He got charged after me.
You know what I mean? I'm never trying to chuck it for man right now, but I'm just like, brother, listen, you got to talk to his agent and then, man. Do we no longer hold any form of responsibility for this brother? And whatever happens to him, it happens to him. This doesn't have any reflection or effect on the club. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, we don't know. We don't know. And who knows? We're negotiating his renewal, and then it looks like it was once upon a time it looked like we was going to re-sign him, and then there was just literally just a turnaround. So who knows? Maybe there was a heads up, like, okay, look, like he's back in some issues. the likelihood is he's going to be charged. And Arsenal's like, yeah, we can't be connected to that. He's not a player anyway. And then, so then what? So then you're saying morally, what? Because we were negotiating, we don't know the guys. Were we there with him? Were we there? We don't know. Like, come on, man, it's mad. These people are the same guys here that were berating Thomas Partey for getting that yellow card in the first leg against PSG. I wanted him to play so badly. Now all of a sudden, you're Arsenal fans, even forget rival fans, Arsenal fans are talking about, oh yeah, the club. I'm so disgusted with the club. This and that. This is Arsenal Football Club that represent so many different sectors. They do diversity and inclusion as good as or better than most clubs out there. We've got representation for women, for the queer communities, all kinds of communities that Arsenal have got representation for. We don't do everything perfect. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going on like we're the most perfect club, but we know Arsenal are very considered in the way that they represent and in the way that they try to include diverse communities, whatnot. So this is definitely something the club would have taken seriously. And in my opinion, they handled it perfectly, bro. And the only way they could have. So what next, man? What if, God forbid, we see someone accuse Bukayo Saka or something? Will they have the same energy? No, you want Saka to play.
And also they would, if they have a different opinion on Saka, they would like to believe that he is innocent. And you even take it back to Mason Greenwood at some stage after everything that happened with him. Some United fans were willing to a certain extent to have him back in the fold. I remember there was videos and certain man were talking about, well, man,
it could have been role play.
Or not even just that, but just like, he's gone through it and he's a good talent, and all of a sudden
back with his partner now, they've had babies.
Now all of a sudden the football talent means more than what's going on, and this is how people are fickle and that, and you get what I'm saying, and it's like also what YNOT saying is that Arsenal versus everyone GG said that in '89. And it's a never-ending battle, and I feel like it's like that sometimes. Like people would rather score point, and then you can't. And when I look at that, and with certain things that's going on, I'm saying, where's your morals at? Because with all what's going on here, you're taking away the seriousness, like you said, of the victims and what's happened to people and what is actually going on, just so you can dunk on another team, or just so you can trigger a fan base, or just so you can have the laugh on people. Do you get what I'm saying? So man, it's all a bit messed up. But hear this now, because some stuff has been going on this week since we last spoke, Strivs, because you was ranting and raving about strikers, about this, that, about everything. So we're gonna get into it. The transfers are starting to roll in for Arsenal. I'm gonna ask you how you feel about our business at the minute. Do you get what I'm saying? Because it might look like we have chosen our striker. Do you get what I'm saying? Victor Gyökeres looks like he's the man that is going to be coming through the door. Look at your face. Look at your face. So, all right, talk to me. What you said?
Well, as you know, man, I've wanted a striker ever since Gabriel Jesus got injured in that World Cup year. So obviously we bought Jesus. He was on fire. I was like, bloody hell, what have we stumbled across here? I say nothing. I think we got the guy. I think I even had a bet that someone bet me that he would score up to 5 league goals by December. I jumped at that bet. You know what I'm saying? Like, Gabriel Jesus was on fire. World Cup. I think he was playing for his place in the World Cup. He got there. He got there, done his thing, got injured, and then after he got injured, it's like he didn't really return the same. And I kind of clocked. Yeah. So from then I said to myself, you know what, Arsenal, you've seen what's happened there. We've moved from trying to fight for top 4, finishing 5th, and now we were top for 97% of the season. You know what? Say nothing, guys. If you man are ambitious, go and get that. Go and get an next striker, because we can't start next season or rely on. I'm big you up, Eddie, but we can't be relying on Eddie and Nketiah to be our main striker. So from then, so we're talking about 2.5 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, I was like, get me a striker. So you can only imagine how frustrated and how negged I have been when every window has come up and I ain't got the striker I'm looking for, bro. You get what I'm saying? So I'm thinking to myself, all right, cool. So now, if you spoke to me 2 days ago, I would have been hot. That's what I would
You
have
was hot. You was hot. We was
yeah,
arguing. We was getting into it.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. But then you know
Yeah.
what now? You see, with this news breaking, that we're advancing, I feel a bit happier. It's not done. And you know me, I don't really trust Arsenal like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't really trust Arsenal like that. But you see where we are now? I'm a lot happier just for the fact that it looks like not only are we trying to get a striker, but we're trying to get one of the top touted strikers, probably and arguably top 3 strikers form-wise in the top 5 European leagues. Is that fair to say? Victor Gyökeres?
Brother, he's 58 goals, bro. In a season is mental. Is a mental stat. And like Mojo was saying, sign Victor and win the league so Strauss can go to the parade. Come on, but listen, like I said, bro, and like I've been arguing with the fan base and with yourself, like
I know to put some respect on it, bro. So I can about so you can go to the parade. What about your parade, Mojo?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because them man was all ready to go Champions League parade. I know Mojo had his train ticket to Manchester, and it didn't happen. You get me? But like I'm saying, like right now, and my whole thing about the transfer window, and we'll get into some of the other ones as well. But with the whole striker thing, I've been adamant. I said it. We're going to sign a striker. I knew we was. I was confident that we are, and I'm confident that we're going
to get Watkins. Though you was going to get Watkins. Don't go like you trust.
No, I said. Worst case scenario, like Watkins is gonna come. Worst case scenario, that will be who we go and get. Do you get what I'm saying? And I feel like Watkins will probably be holding out for that move, hoping everything else crash so he can come Arsenal in it. But I was always confident that either way we will get Victor Gyökeres or Šeško because they were the 2 on the table.
I was weren't confident you was
brother.
You said you weren't confident. You said we would get Watkins because you didn't trust Arsenal neither.
No, it's not about trust. I just knew that how things was moving, there's a strong possibility Watkins could walk through the door. But in my heart and my gut, I knew that either Šeško or Gyökeres would have been the players because they were the ones that were strongest. And I think why I'm leaning towards the Gyökeres transfer and why I'm down for it is because out of the 2, he has been the one that has really kind of said, I want this Arsenal move. And he's the one that's actually like...
Šeško's been like nonchalant with it, innit?
Nonchalant, but then I feel like Šeško is being nonchalant, but I feel like it's because 1, he don't want the competition, and 2, I feel like he knows he can nick a move. Do you get what I'm saying? Like Gyökeres would have nicked a move anyway, but I feel Gyökeres is probably looking at the Arsenal project and feeling like I want to be a part of that. Do you get me? I feel like Šeško is happy to go anywhere that's a top club. Like, and I think if Liverpool don't go and get Isak, I got a strong feeling that Šeško goes Liverpool. I don't know where it is, but I can see him there. I can see him fitting that fast play football that they play over there. Do you get what I'm saying?
I swear, like Jurgen Klopp is now like the I don't know, sporting director or some sort of director in the like the RB Leipzig or however you pronounce their name. That group of clubs. I swear Jurgen Klopp is got something to do with that. So there could be a connection to it, and like, that could happen.
And I bet you once we get Gyökeres, all of a sudden the Šeško price drops. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and you remember, Šeško isn't kicking up a fuss like Gyökeres is to come to Arsenal. And if he's not kicking up a fuss and he's not trying to make it happen, then at the end of the day, and Gyökeres is trying to make it happen and wants to come, that says to me that he's going to come and wants to play in it. He's going to want to come and turn up. He don't care whether we're starting Havertz. He's basically saying, I'm on this smoke, innit? Do you get what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? And the thing with Gyökeres, like man saying, his numbers are ridiculous. Like the brother's been out here quanging it out like up in Portugal. And it'll be interesting to see what he could do with the Prem. But like I've been saying as well, if we can get a tune at Havertz and we can get even Mikel Moreno scoring goals in the number 9 position as a midfielder, what is the possibility of us when we have an actual striker, what that striker can do in this setup? I'm interested to see it. Do you get what I'm saying?
100%, because I'm seeing comments. I'm seeing Calvin saying he will flop. He don't trust like the Portuguese league, and obviously he would say that because we know that Calvin's a Liverpool fan and Darwin Núñez he defrauded everybody, but so obviously he's probably carrying feelings from that, and he's trying to obviously carry those feelings over to the Arsenal camp. But what Calvin's not considering is literally the point you just made. Like, if we can put Kai Havertz up top, yeah, and, like, in my opinion, a goal machine. Because if you look at his goal to game ratio, he was one of the top strikers in the Prem.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Mourinho went up top. He became prolific, bruv. He started scoring goals. So if we can get them two, man, scoring goals in our system in the way that we play, what more of Victor Gyökeres, bro? He's going to slap goals, bro.
Yeah,
that's why for me it was just like, just get me a striker. Benjamin Sesko, I would have been cool with it. I was eyeing up Sesko for a while. Pause. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I don't mind him. You know what I mean? I understood that he's young and might be a bit of a project, but I thought this guy will still score goals at Arsenal. With Gyökeres, I started warming to the fact Gyökeres was like, we were getting links with Gyökeres, and mainly because I started saying to myself, he's not really a typical Mikel Arteta player. And I started hearing that Berta wanted Gyökeres and Arteta wanted Sesko. And where obviously I've lost faith in Arteta, I was thinking, you know what? If but Sesko is Arteta's choice, maybe I should go with Gyökeres anyway. So I started warming towards Gyökeres, and I'm looking at the goals. He looks like he knows where the goal is. He knows where the goal is. And yeah, bro, I fully disagree with Carl. What's he saying now? I'd say we should take Calvert-Lewin. Get rid of this guy, man.
I just see Calvert-Lewin linked with Manchester United on a free transfer. I don't know. On another show, we might bring a couple of them United man up here to see what they have to say about all of that and what they're doing in the transfer window. But yeah, we're on a different Calvin. Come out. We're on a different league with all of that, big man. We're on a different league with all of that.
Yeah, but these man I got banter, man saying Arteta will play Gyökeres left wing. Well, with Arteta, man. With Arteta, you never know, man.
Man, I'm laughing, know, but it's a laughing face. But that's more like he's crying. He's upset because Gyökeres turned them man down. Do you get what I'm saying? He don't want to go there. He said, "Now my priority is Arsenal because the pool is different. You get me? When Arsenal knock, it's a different kind of knock to what's going on with United at the minute. Do you get what I'm saying?
As Liverpool fans will know, bruv, they tried to knock on Zubimendi's door. They got that. The door got slammed in their face, and then today we've announced Zubimendi. So obviously it's a different knock when Arsenal knock. But let's be a little bit measured though, because we haven't got Gyökeres yet. You get what I'm saying? And when it comes to Arsenal, we are the kind of club that will flirt with players. Flirt with players, and then all of a sudden we end up with you were saying that, where you said that you could still see a world where Watkins becomes an Arsenal striker. So you know, I don't want to put all my eggs in that basket yet, but I'm in a much happier place just knowing that. All right, cool. That I'm seeing. It's not ITKs on X telling me about this now. Fabrizio is talking about it now. Orstein's talking about it now. I'm like, okay. This looks like we're really advancing. This looks like we could be a few days from here we go. Hopefully. But with us, we just never know. You know what I'm
saying? You man, this is where we differ, because my confidence with it now is that I feel like this deal's gonna go through. I feel like Arsenal can't afford to mess about and play around in the window. And I've always, like, even in our last conversation, where everyone is a bit panicky, I feel like I have been the more measured fan. Do you get me? I have been a bit more relaxed with it. I was panicking at the start of the window, but I've relaxed, and I'm seeing players come in that make sense. One that don't make sense to me at the moment is the Madueke link, which is looking like it's moving forward at the minute at a rapid pace.
Why doesn't that one make sense to you?
Because if he comes in as a Saka backup on the right, then okay, that can work. But then it all comes down to the price, and really it's not my money to spend. So in terms of the price of it, if we spent 40 million, 50 million, it's not my money in it. But if that 40 and 50 million is going to be at the detriment of us not getting Eze, or maybe say going after Rodrigo or going after another player who I would see as more of a need for the team, then that's where my issue lies with it. Do you get what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm seeing a lot of talk today even about the fact that Madueke can play on the left and he can use both feet and he's, you know, good at pressing and all of this kind of stuff. And I'm starting to think, hold on, is it a case that Arteta is actually getting him in to be the left-sided option? Or is it just it's a backup thing and he's like probably one of the best potential backups that we could get for Saka that we can rotate with? Do you get what I'm saying? So that's where my question marks lie with that one. You get me?
I'm not sure I do get what you're saying, because in one hand you said you're measured, and then on the other hand, you're basically saying that you're saying all the stuff that all the doubtful Arsenal fans are saying. You're saying exactly the same stuff. So, but I don't know. The thing is with the thing is with what you do, Big Dog, if you don't mind me telling the listeners and those that are watching, is you like to put yourself as the holier than thou Arsenal fan.
Let's not do this. Let's not do this.
No, you do, because you'll be like, I'm measured, I'm so like balanced with stuff. But bro, you have the same panics that we have. You literally just expressed it. You get what I'm saying? I don't make you wrong. I actually agree with you.
But I'm not panicking. That wasn't a panic. That is just me trying to understand the what is okay. We get Madueke in. Is that going to affect Eze? Because a week ago, Eze looked like we was going to get a here we go within a matter of days. Do you get what I'm saying? So is that, and that really, I'm hearing talks on it, and Fabrizio said that Arsenal have a clear run up to Eze, but now this Madueke stuff has now become very strong. So my thing is that now is this Madueke deal at the detriment of, say, like Eze coming in. Do you get me? So that's my thing. It's not a panic, but it's just kind of trying to understand it, because you know what I mean. Like for me, I would more want to focus on getting in like Eze. Like we know we can use Eze. We know Eze is a talent. Do you get what I'm saying? We know what you can do. If it just comes out that Madueke is just a backup to Saka, I'll take that. Do you get what I'm saying?
Well, my views on it is, I think Noni Madueke, obviously, I don't even want to say man them, I don't know him, but you know what I mean? Like, obviously, someone in his position, like I love seeing guys like that thriving. But when he's at Chelsea, you know what I'm saying? Get your call up for that when you're at Chelsea. But at Arsenal, I'm not sure I'm buying into it. If he comes to the club, you know me, it might take me a little while to warm to it. But if you start performing properly, you got my support. But right now, Noni Madueke for Arsenal, it stinks, bro. Absolutely stinks. Like, and it's everything that is wrong with our club and where we put ourselves ambition wise. And it's kind of the reason why I'm at the end of my tether with Mikel Arteta and all those that support him and back him up, because you can't tell me, in April, or when we're up against PSG or whenever that was, we're up against PSG and we've lost out. We're thinking, man, we was eyeing up the final of the Champions League. Oh, we're out, man. PSG got rid of us. Oh, man, Liverpool's won the Prem. Oh, man, Newcastle spanked us in the semis. Oh, man, we ain't going to get a trophy. Oh, I tell you what, here's how we win everything next year. We're going to get Christian Norgard and Noni Madueke. Fuck off, mate. Sorry, you know what? I shouldn't even swear because I don't want to get us demonetized. But that's poor, bro. That is not.
You can swear, bro. Speak your shit, bro. Come on, bro. Man.
That's ridiculous, bro. That's absolutely ridiculous. So I'm not having that. And the way I see it, because this is another thing that I find quite irritating with the way Arsenal seem to want to do business at the moment. We keep talking about depth. How about talking about improving your first 11? Because when you raise your ceiling, your floor automatically gets higher as well. All this depth talk, and then what happens if we have another injury-ridden season again? What happens if Zubimendi gets injured at training because Gabriel takes him out, like how he took out Marino? What happens if Declan Rice gets a couple of red cards because PJ Morel's got something against him? What happens if Saka gets another injury? So what? Then you're going to tell me my DM is Christian Norgard and my right winger is Noni Madueke? And you want to go up against Liverpool and Man City, bro? It is not what you call ambition, in my opinion. We got who, in my opinion, a wonder kid in Ethan Nwaneri. He's not even a winger, bro. He's an 8, he's a 10, in my opinion. But we've seen that he can do a competent job on the right. And guess what? His numbers are very, very eerily similar to Noni Madueke's, and he played half of the minutes and probably played about only 200 minutes in the last 13 games. So you mean to tell me Noni Madueke is just a marginal improvement on Ethan on the wing, and Ethan's not even a winger, and you telling me Chelsea want 45 or 50 mil for Arsenal and we're entertaining that? If that gets done, you man can never ever criticize me when I tell you to get that gaffer out of the club, bro. Because anyway.
He's a good Saka backup for 40 million. He's more direct than Saka. Good plan B.
Have him at Liverpool then, Calvin.
No, but listen, I hear you, yeah. But then also, like, I don't know, like, I look at what's going on with Ethan Nwaneri, yeah, and I know a lot of people are saying Chelsea are eyes in him. He's got 1 year on his contract. Everyone's looking at him. I personally think he's going to sign. He's a Haaland boy. Yeah, he's an Arsenal man through and through. We've seen it with Miles Lewis Skelly signing the contract. That's his boy. I feel like 1 year he is going to sign, and I think all the noise is just rumors. I think it's definitely going to happen. They won the Euros under 21, so they're just resting, and when he comes back, I think that's a done deal. But I think maybe the plan for 1 year is to play him more centrally moving forward. Do you get what I'm saying? And not kind of push him out wide. And I think
Odegaard's has had an operation. I don't know how true it is, but I heard he's had it. And if that's the case, he might be recovering. So immediately, you know, he's going to get some minutes there.
Yeah. So, and I think
sorry, but you go.
And I just think, some of the problem that we have is that we don't have a right-sided option. And what we don't want to do,
we kind of do though.
No, but this is the problem. If Nwaneri is a 10 and an 8. Yeah, and we keep forcing him out wide when his strong points are in the middle, you kind of need to have another option for the right wing. Do you get what I'm saying?
I agree with you, but then what's Gabriel Jesus then? Because he's another guy
come on, man.
He should have got. But he's still an Arsenal player.
How dare you bring him up, bro?
Because
how dare you bring him up, bro?
I'm going to tell you why I'm going to bring him up, because when I was saying get rid of this guy. Again, people were saying, Strives is moving mad. Strives is moving mad. I said, get rid of this guy, man. He's done what he could for us. He is not like, you see, like when Thomas Partey used to be an Arsenal player, yeah, he used to get heavily criticized for his lack of availability. Bro, his availability is on par with Gabriel Jesus. In fact, Gabriel Jesus was worse, actually. But Gabriel Jesus is comfortably sitting there earning about 260 bags a week or whatever he is, showing me rehabilitation videos every 6 months, bruv. But the most action I see from this guy is compilation videos of him in the gym doing rehabilitation, bruv. He should have been gone. But since he's at the club, you be the right wing and back up. How about you do that?
I feel Gabriel Jesus can't be relied upon. Kojo, my boy, earlier said to me that he made a strong point for Gabriel, and he was basically saying that if you get, let's say you get Gyökeres in, you got Havertz, yeah. Obviously, looking like Madueke comes in, but then to have Gabriel there as a player that we know he's a bit jinxy. We know when he's not injured and he's doing bits, he can do something. Do you get what I mean? And
that's
just having that.
That's when he's not playing right back.
But then
speaking so deep, bruv, man. He doesn't even want to score goals, bruv. Get that guy.
You know what I'm saying? But having him as an option going into the season, if we can't sell him, is more beneficial. But I don't feel like he can be relied upon as being our out and out backup for Saka on the right wing.
So you're saying that? So you think the answer in that case would be Noni?
If not saying that's the answer, because I would have took Kudus. You get me? There's a lot of different players that can play on the right side that I would even take in Brentford. Do you get me, from Brentford? Do you get what I'm saying? As backup, if we're talking backup options that kind of don't. It's not
where the numbers might translate and you can actually make a case for it and understand.
Yeah. And the thing with Madueke is that I think he could be one of them players, because there was a moment, I think, beginning of last season towards the end of the season before that, where he was looking like, okay, who's this player that Chelsea's got? And he went kind of quiet. But then I'm wondering, is it because he went quiet because Chelsea? The thing with Chelsea, and I think what you're probably seeing with a lot of players, baby, blowing hot and cold with Chelsea, is that they've got so many players. Do you get what I'm saying? And the problem is when it's not working, the manager's going to change it up and he's going to bench some players. And when if that don't work, he's going to change it up again. And we've seen that with Chelsea. Like, their starting lineup has changed so many times, and a player can be in favour, and the next minute he's not in favour. You're going to training. There's 30 men in the training ground. Do you get what I'm saying? It can kind of maybe feel a little bit distant around at what's going on at Chelsea. I may be wrong. Do you get what I mean? But I think with Madueke stepping up to Arsenal and coming into Arsenal, where instantly us as Arsenal fans always embrace our players, might be the fresh start that he needs to kind of kickstart his career, because he's he's not shit, bro. Like at the end of the day, he's been at Chelsea. He was doing a madness at PSV when he was at PSV that got him the move in the first place, and he's been playing for England under 21s. He's gone through the ranks. So maybe a fresh start is maybe what he needs to kickstart his career. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, no, totally. I totally get what you mean, and that's a good case for the player. I can understand that for the player. What I can't understand is the benefit for the club. So for the player, even for the player, I feel like the risk might be if you're moving from Chelsea, where there's a heavy competition for places, they're quite a youthful, talented squad that they're building, and you might think, all right, I need to go and be the number one guy somewhere. You don't go to Arsenal because Saka's the number one guy, and he's never gonna dislodge Saka. You get what I'm saying? He really should be going to Aston Villa, to a Newcastle, to a Tottenham. You get what I'm saying? But for the player, I can understand why you might go to Arsenal, even if you've got that competition with Saka, because you might think, you know what, Arsenal are in a better position than Chelsea at the moment. They're actually competing for the title. They're in Champions League. Maybe he might have spoken to the coaches. I might be thinking, you know what, I like the coaches' idea from me, and I like the way that they plan to develop me. I can understand the benefits for Madueke coming to Arsenal. Do you get what I'm saying? Even if he wasn't the main guy. What I can't understand is how Arsenal feel like that is what pushes you closer to crossing a line where we failed to cross the line 4 times in a row.
But what if also Madueke is thinking, I'm good enough to take my man's spot?
But we know he's not.
But what if he's thinking that? But we don't know. But what if he's actually thinking, you know what, Arsenal, like I want to go there, and I feel like I'm good enough to do something there.
Doug, I think I'm one of the fastest guys in the world, bro. Like if Usain Bolt was at Sports Day with me, stay with me, I would think I'd beat Usain Bolt. Wait, you know I ain't got no. Come on, let's not do that. I've seen your videos, bro. Let's not do that. Let's not do that.
I'm quick, you know. I'm quick.
Yeah, you are quick.
You know,
you are quick still, but I'd probably give you like a 15-meter head start and still win. But look, let's digress. But I'm just trying to say that in terms of like delusion, bro. Like I rate myself so highly, bro, that I would go to the Arsenal's training ground and I'd be demanded to start as well. Just because I rate myself, that doesn't mean anything, bro. So Madueke might rate himself, and that's brilliant. I love that for you, Madueke, bro. But I'm talking about Arsenal here. You get what I'm saying? So I can't understand how Arsenal would look at him and be like, oh, yeah, that's a target that we should be getting. And what it also does as well is it makes me think to myself, all right, look, like I've heard, that we are looking to get Eze, but that's not going to stop us from getting a winger or a left winger and a striker. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I think was it that way around, or was it saying we're looking at Madueke, but that doesn't stop us from getting Eze and striker?
No, it was that getting Eze wouldn't stop us from getting a left-sided striker, left-sided winger and a striker.
And so you're excited at that point. So you're like, all right, okay, Arsenal trying to move correct. And then the winger reports that immediately follow is Noni Madueke. You got Rodrigo getting freaking ousted out of the Real Madrid team. He can barely get minutes in the FIFA Club World Cup. What are you doing looking at Madueke, bro?
Yeah,
what are you doing?
So what if we get Madueke, but Eze comes in and obviously Gyökeres? Does that make the whole situation a lot better?
It makes it a little bit more palatable. If I say
because one thing I will say is that, and you mentioned it earlier about the whole thing about depth, and depth, and everyone's using the word depth and saying this, and however you want to word it. One thing that I noticed with Arsenal is that last season, when you looked at the bench was there was names of kids and stuff on the bench. So no matter how much people hate using the word depth or this depth talk, we need depth. We need depth within the team. We need and I saw a comment. I'll go back to it if I can find it. Also, just before I go and look for it, big up Harvey 22 from Turkey. You know what I mean? He's a Galatasaray man, but Arsenal are the most, you know what I mean, most supported club in Turkey. So big up yourself, Harvey. Yeah, and
big you up, Harvey, man.
And my thing, and just my thing is that people hate to talk about depth, but we need players, bro. So I think like if you can get Madueke in, it's not going to hurt the club. I'd rather have him than not have him. Do you get what I'm saying? Because if you go into the season, let's say we didn't get him and we just got Eze and we just got the striker, and then maybe say Rodrigo, but never had Madueke, but we could have got Madueke. Why not bring him in? Because just like now, we don't know what he can bring to the table for the club. And I think one thing that we did see last season was that when players did fall and did get injured, we were shuffling and maneuvering to kind of have cover. So if Arsenal think that they can get something out this player because there is talent there within Madueke, he's not rubbish. He's not shit. Let's have it right. And even I see some analysis on him today that was talking about him being bow-footed, being able to press, being like energetic defensively and aggressively, and very good at one-on-one take-ons. Yeah, like if we can get the best out of him and he have some form of output at Arsenal, it's not a bad thing.
So Madueke he's quite direct. He's what you'd probably call your an out winger. Quite explosive, decent dribbler, takes on his man. Young, youthful. I can make a case as to why he's a decent player and why he was also one of Chelsea's better wingers in the season at one point. 100%. I'm not rubbishing Madueke at all. Like, he's a decent player. But what I'm saying to you is he is not the player that Arsenal should be looking at. And this is what I'm talking about. This is where I start questioning the ambition of our club. And then I also start questioning whether, because of this lack of ambition from our current manager and setup, if it's rubbing off on the fans. Because you're going to now basically fund Chelsea to kind of get Kudus, who, in my opinion, would be a better acquisition than Madueke. So why don't you just go and get Kudus?
No, you know what I'm saying? Kudus is going Tottenham.
But bro, but then Tottenham would have made a better purchase than us. Because so I'm just saying, why don't you just go? What I'm trying to say is, why don't you aim higher? Like, it doesn't have to be Madueke. And then furthermore, like I'm saying, like we've been linked to Rodrigo. I don't know how true that is, but we have been linked, and we can see that the likelihood is he does not have a pathway at Real Madrid whilst Alonso is manager. So it looks like he's out of favor. That's a door we should be knocking on. Now, he can play right wing. He can play left wing. Now, when you're trying to compete at the top, sometimes it's not just about, first off, you want to do your business early. Preseason starts next week, by the way. And then I think we go on tour on the 19th or so. Right now, we don't even know who our squad is. So in my opinion, we should have been doing that a lot quicker. And then not just that, it's a messaging that you also want to send to the rest of your rivals. If you sign Rodrigo, if you sign Eze, if you sign Gyökeres, you've signed Zubi already. You've got your backup keeper in Kepa, who he's got pedigree. You've got your Norgard as your backup, whatnot, who, as much as I've rubbished him, he can also show that he is he's Premier League proven, he's capable, he's great outside of possession, attempts a lot of forward passes. We can see he's a competent player. If you go with a window like that, then you immediately are sending a message to your rivals, Arsenal are not here to mess about. But if you now on the flip side, your window is Noni Madueke, Norgard, Zubimendi, Gyökeres, obviously Kepa, we're linked with Mosquera. I don't know that sends the same kind of shockwaves. You get what I'm trying to say? And how would it? And this is how I put it, yeah? Let me ask you this, Doug. PSG, look, we run that game back. Yeah? We lose 1-0. We got to overturn that 1-0 deficit at their ground. Saka's injured. Zubi's not available. What do you think the score will be with Madueke on your wing and Norgard as your DM?
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. But then
we should not be aiming that mode.
But then I feel like a lot of clubs have the same issue. Like Liverpool lose Szoboszlai in the middle, or they lose Wirtz at the 10 and whatever. They're gonna have the same problem. Like even Man City, Rodri's injured again. They've already got Randa. If they injured now again, supposedly, so now they're going to start the season with Randa. Randa gets injured, they've got Gudjohnsen or Kovacic. They're in the same sort of problem like they was last season.
All those players are better than Norgard in my estimation.
Yeah. So I'm not taking Kovacic at Arsenal, man. I'm sorry, I'm not taking Kovacic. And the thing is,
is he better than Norgard?
We haven't seen Norgard kick a ball at Arsenal yet, so let's judge him when he's actually played for the team, and let's see how he kind of molds into the squad, innit? Do you get what I'm saying? Then we can kind of judge it, yeah. Because I feel like what we tend to do is before players kick the ball, judge the signing, judge it all without actually seeing how they gel into our team, innit? Do you get what I mean? And also another thing I would
say that about every signing, though.
Yeah, we can say that, and yeah, it's like anything, but we have to see it first. And also, I would also say as well is that the thing with Arsenal and what I look at the side and say is that if you look at our starting lineup, even with Havertz and even when we had Moreno in the team was, into a certain extent, was cooking. Even when players we didn't have our strongest or didn't have the right level.
Your standards are too low, bro.
No, yeah, you're not letting me land. Wait, let me land before you start getting into your. You get me? Going into your zone again. You get me? Hear what I'm saying is that when it comes to our team, yeah, and you look at the starting lineup and you look at what we have, right? You look at Miles Lewis-Skelly at the back. You got Raya in goal, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Gabriel, Saliba. You got Timber. Yeah, that's solid. That's a solid defense. Yeah. That is an out-and-out solid defense. It's been proven, yeah. Now you look at the midfield of Odegaard, Rice, and Zubimendi, yeah.
I don't want to interrupt you too much, but you see how you started off with Miles Lewis-Skelly. Remember last summer we bought Calafiori.
Calafiori's there. I'm not forgotten about him. I'm not forgotten about him. Either way,
that's my point that we are making signings that push you forward because you.
No, but what you're trying to say, I could switch either one of them out because I rate Calafiori as well. Yeah, so I can switch either one of them out. Same way I could switch out Ben White for Timber.
I like Calafiori as well.
Same way, even Kivior with Gabriel Art has shown us the level that he can play at as well. So even what I understand with what's going on with Arsenal, our defenses now got light for light switches that you can bring a player out, bring a player in. Yeah,
our defense is elite. I'll give Arteta that. He knows how to build a defense.
So even with our midfield, right? Even with our midfield, you look at Declan Rice, Zubimendi, and Odegaard, right? If they're gonna now look at Ranieri as more of an Odegaard kind of, if they're taking Odegaard off, they're bringing Ranieri on, that's his covered. Then you look at, we got Moreno, now we got Norgard. Do you get what I'm saying? And you look at that midfield is a strong midfield, like off the core midfield of Odegaard, Rice, and we yet to see how Zubimendi links up to that. Yeah. Then when you look at
what's your preferred midfield?
My preferred midfield obviously was Partey when Partey was.
He's not obviously. So as it is today,
our preferred midfield on which I feel we'll go with is Declan Rice, Odegaard, and Zubimendi. That will be the three.
That would be strong. So that
would be the strong. And then you have Moreno that can come in and play the 8. Yeah, and you can switch Declan Rice to play in the DM. Yeah, and then you also who else? Then you also got Norgard.
Do you feel confident with Moreno in the 8?
It's yet to be seen because even last season, like he had no choice but to play up top. Do you get what I'm saying?
No, he had moments. He definitely
had moments, but I'm still, you know what I mean, analyzing his game a bit.
So what we're saying is Moreno, who the purpose of which we bought Moreno for, we are still a little bit unsure. It's just lending to my point that our strategy when buying players is not good enough because we should not be unsure.
So you're telling me you don't rate Moreno? So you're telling me you don't rate Moreno?
Bro, we did this last week. Of course, I rate Moreno, but I rate him because he was our striker.
No, but I'm talking about as a midfielder. You don't rate him as a midfielder.
I don't know yet, bro. I'm like you. I don't know yet, I should know. That's my point.
You know what?
That's my point. I should know.
But it's because he didn't have the grace to be able to play in his role because of injuries, yeah?
No, we started playing him there and we thought, ooh.
No, it's not even we thought anything. He just didn't have to. We needed a striker. Havertz went down, and their decision was to play Moreno in the 9, yeah?
All right, no,
right.
Yeah. So you carry on.
All his training that he would have been going through throughout the season would have been more focused on the 9 position for him after Havertz got injured. That would have been his focus. You know what I mean? They would have been kind of trying to coach him on movements as a striker and that's what his training focus would have been. Do you get what I'm saying? For the rest of the season because Havertz was out, innit? And then when you look at Martinelli, Saka, and then obviously Havertz, obviously you could switch out. That's where we're lacking. But what the point I'm trying to make is in terms of Arsenal's first 11, it's not a weak first 11. It's competed for the title 3 seasons in a row, yeah? So when you look at that 11, you know that there's odd tweaks that need to be made. The whole team doesn't need to be gutted out and redone. Do you get what I'm saying? That's the point I'm trying to make here. So this is what I'm trying to say. So when they're making a little additions to the squad to have some form of cover, not always is it a case that the cover or the backup player has to be a first team player who's going to want to come in. Let's say you go and get a right winner. Let's just say we went and got Desiree Doué. Yeah, and he wants to come to Arsenal and he wants to be the number 1. yeah, he wants to be the number one player out on the right, yeah.
What you see?
What does that mean for Saka? No, but what does that mean? But what does that mean?
What do you mean? What does that mean for Saka? It means he has to freaking keep his place. It keeps the
Yeah,
club
but
competitive.
no, but what I'm trying to say, what
you're trying to say is, I am happy to have somebody who just wants to exist. I want someone who just wants to pick up wages and sit on the bench. I don't want that kind of player at my club.
So basically, if you're buying a player like that, you're basically looking to replace a player.
Yes. That's my.
So you want to? So you would want to replace Saka on the right,
bro? If I'm in the market, I'm looking for someone as good as or better than Saka. 1,000,000%, yes.
So you want to replace Saka on the right hand side?
Listen to the.
How old is Saka? Wait, how old is Saka? Wait, no, I'm hearing you.
If I'm in the market for a right winger, I want someone as good as or better than Saka. What then happens is Saka raises his game to make sure his place doesn't get taken. Then what happens is the guy trying to take his place raises his game because he's trying to take Saka's place. Guess what happens to us as fans? Guess what happens to Arsenal Football Club? We get better and we win trophies, bro. That's what I want, bro. I don't want Noni Madueke to come here and be. Anyway, bro. Fred Amani's saying, why aren't we sharing a live link so more people can join? Didn't we share this, bro?
I shared it on my Instagram. Fred, tell me where it needs to be shared so more people can see it, my bro. That would be lovely because this is the second time doing it. So we're learning as we go. So if you can let me know where the live link needs to be shared, we'll be happy to do that. Do you get what I'm saying?
The wise man saying we need to overhaul, gut the whole team. What, you're feeling like that? No, I don't think you need to gut the whole team. No, there's a comment. I'm saying we need to gut the whole team. I don't think we need to do all that.
But I feel like
we do
why not?
Some quality additions. Sorry.
Yeah, no, and I was saying YNOT, but it's why not. So apologies for getting it wrong. But why not? I feel like he's on Team Strides. Like he has the same sort of like. Bro, I feel like he has the same sort of views as yourself.
It's not Team Strides. You know what? Like you see, this is the conversation that we were having when you was commenting under one of the podcast pundits posts, bro. I'm like you said. I celebrate hard when we win. And I'm very upset when we lose. I'm a football fan, but I am quite balanced. I can also let you know where Arsenal are going wrong.
But big up Baz, yeah. Baz says it's competition, it improves everyone, yeah. He says competition, it improves everyone, right? Yeah. So why are Liverpool not looking for a right-sided winger?
Wow, is that what you're going with?
Because my point, what I'm trying to make is, yes, I understand competition, yeah, but it's not that they're trying. Saka is still got levels and gears to go. So I'm happy with Saka. It's like Real Madrid ain't looking to replace Vinny and they're not looking to replace Mbappe, but what they want to bring in is players that can improve the side all round, innit? Do you get what I'm saying? So if we go off of your logic and what you're saying is that Arsenal should go and get like a Desiree Doué, go and chuck 100 million at these players that automatically want to start the game. Yeah, that automatically replace a player. That's what it tells the player who's already in that position that this is what we're going to do. We're bringing in this player because we think this player is better than you and we want him to start. That's what it says to the player. But if you bring in someone that is like, we're basically saying this is our go-to. Saka is our go-to. He's our golden boy. But we want to bring in someone that we believe can do a job for us if something, God forbid, was to happen to him. And the thing is, what I feel Arsenal have done when they've looked at Noni is basically said that they've looked at probably the potential of what he can do. Do you get what I'm saying?
You're still talking about Noni, bro.
I'm only talking about it because that is the player that's on the table. Do you get what I'm saying?
Can I ask you something? Have you always had this mindset, or did this just start when Mikel Arteta became gaffer?
I've always had, but what do you mean? What kind of mindset are we talking about?
This mindset where you just want players to come in that just sits below the player that's in there. I think once upon a time you were used to.
What I was trying to break down. What I was trying to break down to you is the fact that with Arsenal starting 11, I feel like our starting 11 is two players off of being a madman.
Who's the two
so
players?
I would say if you brought in a Gyökeres for Havertz and bring in let's say Rodrigo for Martinelli, and that starting lineup with Rodrigo on the left, Martinelli, Gyökeres up top, Saka on the right with Rice, Zubimendi, and Odegaard, and our back four and Raya. I feel that's a madman side.
That would be quite scary. But can I
So just to add to that, so what you need off the bench is players that can be relied upon to do a job when they come on to cover those players. And when you look at some of the big sides, and a lot of these sides, they have players that are young, got potential, that can come on. You look at even Real Madrid with Gonzalo, who they've just brought in, that they've been playing in the World Cup, and all these players on their bench. All these players ain't like superstar players, but what they do have is the potential to be able to create some magic and do certain things. You look at PSG. PSG's starting 11 is flying. I guarantee if Dembele and Desiree Doué get injured, or even Vinicius are in their midfield, or one of those players go down, they might struggle. Because I don't see their bench having the quality on their bench to kind of fulfill that. And all it is about is a balance, isn't it? And that's my thing. I feel like if Arsenal can find the balance with the starting lineup and the bench, and have quality on the bench that can come on, and I feel like we tried to do that and some of the players have let us down. But if you can have that quality,
bro, you're never gonna convince me of this like media.
It's not about convincing it. I'm not trying to convince you. This ain't me trying to convince you. This is just my opinion. This is my opinion.
Fair enough. And this is why I rate your opinion, but I'm just saying I do rate your opinion, like, because obviously I rate you, but I'm just letting you know your opinion is of a mediocre mindset. And when I say I'm not that I rate mediocrity, because I said I rate your opinion, but I just rate I rate the fact that you're prepared to really just stand on what you believe in, even though it contradicts what you say you want. Because if you, and so basically what I'm trying to say is you're kind of a little bit imbalanced, and one might say a bit delusional, because you can't tell me, that you said Rodrigo.
But where's the delusion in that? Before man start checking out things,
I'm going to explain it, yeah. I'm going to explain it, yeah. Because you said you want Rodrigo, yeah. Rodrigo and Martinelli would be like, I think Rodrigo is better than Martinelli, yeah. But in terms of their stats and stuff, there's not that much that separates them if you actually look at it over the last few seasons. Like if you look at Rodrigo in like La Liga, Martinelli's in his stats in the Prem.
But the problem with that is because Rodrigo's playing out of position at Real Madrid. He's a left-sided winger, but they're not going to play Rodrigo over Vinny.
So okay, so you're saying that a player on the left side we might get better output with Rodrigo.
100%, he's a left-sided player.
Yeah, I might be inclined to agree.
He's first choice at Real Madrid because you have Mbappe that can play on the left, and you have Vinny that can play on the left. Then you have Rodrigo, so he's not going to ever get a chance. But
what I'm saying is, if you actually look at it, I think Lippy mentioned it when I was watching Filthy Fellas. Actually, he said that as much as he probably prefer Rodrigo, depending on the price, he would probably just stick with Martinelli. There's not much that separates them. However, that would lend to my point that either side, whether you're starting with Martinelli or Rodrigo, you'd be confident that that left side is capable. Well, I'd be confident that left side is capable. That's lending to the point that I'm making. I agree with you there. But then where I'm saying that you got a little bit delusional there is when you started talking about if you had like a Rodrigo where you have like a Gyökeres, then why don't we just basically fill the bench with substandard players, because that's all you need? No. And then you even try to start talking about Real Madrid as if that's what Real Madrid do. No, they don't. Real Madrid built that Dean Huijsen. He was probably born. Did he come from Bournemouth? Bournemouth's probably brightest link. And if we got him, we would be ranting and raving about him. This guy's going to be a superstar when he's older. They brought Trent Arnold Alexander. We know what Trent is. Freaking superstar at Liverpool.
Yeah, but they needed a right back though.
Bro, that's what I'm trying to say to you.
When they need
a right back, when they need cover for their CB, they just go for elite talents.
They needed a right back. They needed a right back, so they brought in Trent for free.
Yeah, but brother, whether they brought him for free, whether they brought him for 150 million, they brought in elite talent. So what I'm trying to say is, you can't now try to compare Arsenal and Real Madrid and completely butcher your explanation when Real Madrid are bringing in elite talent to compete for places, and you're telling me or trying to kind of like rationalize why it should be okay to get.
What elite talent have they brought in that is added competition where Asensio at centre back is dead, so they've put Huijsen straight in. Yeah, Carvajal.
They've gone to improve their team. Is that what you're telling me? They've improved their team.
Yeah, but where? All right, so where in the Arsenal lineup do you feel the improvement needs to be made? Because the point I was trying to make. No, it's not about being scared. Hear my question first. Yeah, where in the Arsenal team in the starting lineup, I've really pointed out 2 places that I feel need to be improved, yeah? But based on what you're saying, where else in the starting lineup do we need to be chopping out players and bringing new players in?
Right. So I would say, obviously, up top, we need to get a striker.
No, forget the striker. I've mentioned them. Martinelli and the striker.
You just asked me the question. How can you say forget the striker?
But the reason
you asking me the question.
No, because we know that. So don't start with the easy one. Don't start with the hard one. Yeah, go to the rest of the team because we know we need a left-sided winger. We know that, and we know we need a striker. That's easy. But where else in?
That's why you should let me land, because actually I like Martinelli. I'm not with the Arsenal fans that have rubbished him. Actually, I actually like Martinelli, and I think
Martinelli's sick, but I feel like we need a left-sided winger.
So you think we can improve with Martinelli? I'm not even going to hold you on that, bro. Because guess what? I'm not going to be a hypocrite and say just because I like Martinelli, I don't want to see improvement on him. But guess what? Odegaard can get improved upon, bro. Odegaard can get improved upon. So if I'm trying to, because I would take a cam if I could get a cam. Hence why I'm excited about Eze, because I'm like, we can maybe alternate. If Odegaard goes on one of these stinkfests again, Eze can go in there. You know what I'm trying to say? So yeah, we can improve on that. If there was someone better than Eze available, guess what? I want him. You get what I'm saying? With our left back. If there was a market opportunity, you see my kind of market opportunities. My market opportunities ain't ones that's for 5 mil or whatnot. My market opportunities are people that make you better. So you see, like when we were linked with Juan Garcia, the goalkeeper, I think did he go Barca? He went somewhere anyway. I
don't think he's made a move yet. I don't think.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. Guess why I didn't mind it? Because he's touted to be elite talent. So if he one day replaces Raya, I don't give a toss. Because when we had Ramsdale and all the Ramsdale Raiders were getting mad angry that we were linked with David Raya, guess what I was? I was happy. I was happy that we got linked with David Raya.
I was happy with Raya.
Because people was like, why are you going to unsettle the bro? If we can get a better keeper, why not? That's what I'm on. So that's where I'm on. I'm not attached to any of these players. I'm attached to Arsenal. So Bukayo Saka's probably the only one that I could say probably a little bit attached to. But even still, get me a right winger that's better than Saka. I'll say, yo, Saka, level your game up, bro. Otherwise, you got a whole bench. That's what I'm on, bro.
Yeah, so you're saying Saka needs to level up his game more than what the level that he's playing.
To be honest, there is parts of his game that he can definitely level up on. Like he's in my opinion definitely probably top 5, top 3 right wingers in the world. But when he came back from injury, I'm going to give him grace that he came back from injury. He scored some important goals against Real Madrid, etc. But he tailed off towards the end of the season, and that has been a trend that he tends to do at times. So he can level up his game there. There was a time when he seemed to have a little bit more freedom. He used to take on his player, and he used to go ham. He's a little bit systematic at the moment. I think he needs to have a little bit of maverick in him, a little bit. He can level up his game. If there's someone that comes in that happens to do all of that and what Saka does, what, you think I'm just going to be loyal to Saka just because I love him as a football player? No, bro. I want Arsenal to win. So if I can get better, I'm going to get better, bro. And all I'm saying is I wish that you were like that. I just wish you were a bit more like that.
Listen, my goals are the same, but I just have different outlooks on things, innit? And that's what it is. Like, I don't have to be like you. Like, we've talked about this. And my outlook is this. I want my team.
You don't mind Madueke. That's cool, man.
It's not about minding Madueke. I already said. How did I start off the segment when I spoke about Madueke? I said it was a signing I don't really get. Do you get what I'm saying? So that was how I started it. But then as my mind works it, I'm trying to figure out how it makes sense. Do you get what I'm saying? So for me, yeah, it's not the backup to Saka that I would want. Do you get
what I'm saying? What's your ideal window? What would be your ideal window?
What, this window right now?
Yeah, like when the window closes.
If we could bring in whoever we could bring in.
Yeah, let's keep it realistic though. The people that we're linked to, like let's keep it realistic to
some. So I think even after the business that we've done already, I think getting in that young centre back, I think would be dope because I feel like he will learn under Gabriel and Saliba, and I think he's like 21 and he's being raved about. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm with you.
I think Eze, I think would be sick because I agree with you with the Odegaard thing. I feel like Odegaard's looking a little bit malnourished and needs to eat a little food and get some hard food in him. You get me? And get back to what man knows he can do. But what I don't like, I feel like he gives me Emil Rose Smith kind of vibes where, you know, head down sometimes when he's not playing well. And, you know, he's a confidence player, innit? Like, he has to feel confident and feel... I get that vibes of him sometimes. So if he can get back to how he's playing, I think he's sick. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. 100%.
But I think Eze, Now, if you're talking left wing,
I'll
take Rafael Leao,
okay.
I'll take Rodrigo.
I heard that he's I don't know how true it is, but I think I saw a post where a price tag been placed on him or something like that. Like where he's kind of on the market now.
And there's been silent links with him, innit? You get what I'm saying?
So you'd have Leao over Rodrigo.
Brother, he's a madman, and I think like
you reckon Arteta can handle that kind of personality?
He's got to try, because what we can't do is always dodge players with mad personality to have players, because I think if you look at clubs like Real Madrid, you even look at PSG now, where they've won everything this season. Now all these players are going to have strong personalities. They're all going to want to play. They're all going to. So I feel like we can't. Yes, he got that other little core of players out that maybe didn't have the right attitude. But I think if he's got the right attitude, but he's a bit out there, you're gonna have to deal with that. If he's pulling up to work in the Lambo and he's got chains on and doing all of the drip stuff, you're gonna have to deal with that. Do you get what I mean? Like, so, and in terms of strikers, like, we always was admirers of Isak. That would be my perfect window to get Isak in. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I would take Gyökeres and I would take Šeško. That for me is the bar. Like, I don't want to go beneath that. When you start looking at Ollie Watkins or you start looking at Calvin, Dominic, I don't want to see no Dominic Calvin-Lewin, you know what I mean? I don't want to.
Fully. So let's run it down. Let's run it down. So you said Isak, you said Leao, you said Mosquera, you said Eze. Yeah. And then obviously the guys that we've already signed, yeah.
The guys
did I miss anyone? Did I miss anyone out? I don't think I did, bro. That's a window that I think the whole fan base would like. Obviously, some people might have their preferences. Some people might want Rodrigo, whatnot, but the whole fan base would be gassed if that was the signing.
100%.
So I'm with you there. So I just need to understand. Take me from how that would be your ideal window to why you could somehow rationalize and be okay with and make excuses for a link to Madueke.
Because
you get what I mean? Like, I'm just trying to work out. Like, can you see the mad drop?
Yeah. Now let me.
And then can you see why I feel a little bit annoyed when you judge me for not wanting to do that drop? Because I'm saying to you,
let me rationalize it.
You're allowed to be up here, bro, and stay there.
Yeah. So let me rationalize it, because the only reason I rationalize it is because the window's not done. Now, let's say Madueke comes in, you don't get Eze, but you get the striker. Now I'm looking at the signing differently, because now it shows the intention of why you brought him in. You want to play him on the left. You think he can maybe go left or right or whatever. Like that to me is not good enough. Like with what I've told you, and you add Madueke into the mix of that, I'm like, more the merrier. Because yes, I know that like people, you want the stars and everyone wants all the big names and certain times, but then you have a player go to a team and all of a sudden they light it up. So I'm open to see what the potential is
optics,
there with
you're
a player
right.
like
Optics is definitely important, but if it happens to like to your point, if you got all the priority areas and you got the signings in at a great standard, and then you brought in a Madueke and you paid and you paid a modest fee for him, nobody's running, bro.
But this is the only place where I think we differ. I think we're kind of on the right track, but this is the only place where I think we differ in terms of, I feel that I'm I have a lot of optimism that Arsenal are going to go for a big player within the window, later down within the window. That's my optimism. Like, I still feel there's a lot of business to be done. Do you get what I'm saying? And I feel some fan bases want that big business to be done straight away. Like, they want it now, not necessarily because it's a selfish thing. I feel like, like even we spoke on the last show and you was basically saying about, getting it done before preseason, getting the player in early, and getting those players in so they can bed into the team throughout preseason training and stuff like that. You get me? Which I get that as well, and I believe in that as well. But I still feel, even with the Madueke deal being done and certain other deals being done, I feel like there's still a lot more to be done, and that's my optimism for it. So now, if nothing is done, you get me? Like, if nothing is done for the rest of the window, then now I'm going to be looking at, okay, like, now I'm going to start looking at the window a bit funny, because I'm now thinking this doesn't push the needle. Do you get what I'm saying? But if we get them big players in, and we get some big players in, like later on in the window, get our striker in, get our left-sided player in, and get Eze in, then now I'm kind of, I'm content. I'm happy to have a few other players in that you never know what they can produce. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think because the reports that came out earlier was that Noni was a main target. I think that's what triggered people. But I think so. Well, big up H Aztecs Trading saying, yeah, you don't get the issue with signing Madueke if it's with others. Again, I think it just comes down to optics. It's just like if you've got the others and a Madueke comes in, that's when I'm accepting depth.
Yeah,
when you've addressed your priority areas.
But I also feel like we said, a lot of fan bases are just on this thing of they just want the big. They like, oh, we've not been able to do it. This is what we want, and whatever doesn't match up to what they want this early on in the window, they're not happy till they see what they want.
No, and the thing is, I think you've got to take into account the nuance though. With us, we've not crossed the line for several years now, bro. So it's not just you can't like compare it to like different fan bases or whatnot. You might be able to get away with saying that to I'm trying to think. Who could you maybe get away with saying that to? To be fair, like, but I mean, yeah, like you might be able to get away with saying that maybe to United, even though United haven't like they've been a bit under, they've been a bit underwhelming, but they signed a lot of players.
But the difference between us and how we've done business with how United have done business this transfer window is that there's a lot coming out of United, Mbeumo. Even that's now, I just see. I thought Kuna was a done deal. It's not even done yet. Like, do you get what I'm saying? Like Mbeumo, like. Everyone was saying that's a done deal. It's not done. Like, so much things going on. I feel like Arsenal, there hasn't been no noise out of the club. All the noise that we've seen, but hear me out, all the noise has been fan bases and media outlets and blog pages that's created all the noise around Arsenal. Arsenal have just gone about doing the business that they've set out to do. Yeah, but we're all upset that it's not within the timing of what you expect.
You're not getting the point I'm trying to make to you, bro. Because if you were getting the point you're trying to make to you, I don't think you'd be saying what you're saying. Because the point I'm trying to make to you is we don't have the liberty to move that way because we've done fuck all. Bro, we ain't winning shit, bro. So because we're not winning, hear me out. Because we're not winning shit, you do not get the liberty to move like you're bougie. Oh,
but that's your own. But that's your own. No, but that's your own personal outlook on it. Because we've had Berta in, right? This is our first window with Berta. We don't really know how he operates.
Bro, you've had this comment up for ages, and you ain't even. How can you put his comment up there and you ain't even answer?
No, I was going to get to it. Don't worry, I'm going to get to the Lookman thing. Yeah, I'm going to get to the Lookman thing. Lookman, if you want me to quickly answer it or touch on Lookman, I'm 50-50 with Lookman. When I saw the link the other day, and I said,
we were linked to him.
Yeah, we was linked to him the other day. I see it. But this is what I'm saying. We've been linked with everyone, innit? But I saw that Arsenal had inquired about Lookman, but this is what they're saying, that this is Berta's style. He will look for whatever is out there in the position that we're looking for to understand what the deal is and what's going on. So he will inquire. But my thing is that Lookman's another one. If we got Lookman by himself, then he kind of goes in the Madueke kind of box for me. Do you get what I'm saying? If we get Lookman with other players, I'm going to take that. But if we get Lookman solely just Lookman as our left-sided midfield, it don't really light me up with joy. Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah. But my thing with the whole Berta thing is this transfer window. I know there's a lot of anxiety amongst Arsenal fans that this is how we need to, like you're saying, we don't have the luxury and this, that, but we don't know how this man works. With Edu, we kind of knew how Edu works because we had a couple transfer windows with Edu to know that this brother takes long on deals. He drags deals out. Look how long he made the Mudryk deal drag on for. Do you get what I'm saying? We know with Mudryk that dragged on for a whole January. That transfer window. In the end, we fucking lost that on him to Chelsea. Do you get what I'm saying? So
I do get what you're saying, but I think we've kind of, I mean, we're all guilty of it, but I think what we've learned to do as Arsenal fans is we turn into the club's accountants, we turn into the sports directors, we turn into the gaffers. We start talking about all the intricacies and the mechanics behind all the business that happens at Arsenal Football Club. And ultimately, in my opinion, all we need to worry about as fans is, can we win trophies? Do we have a squad available to do it? And how early can we bed that squad in order to build the chemistry and the cohesion in order to achieve the goals that we as fans want? And we are probably the major stakeholders of any football club, fans, right? So you're talking about all this stuff that Berta does and all this. I don't really give a toss about all the business side of things. I give a toss about it, like let me rephrase that. I care about what's going on behind the scenes, but ultimately that's what you're do that. But ultimately, I just care about the output, the end goal, the end output. Yeah. So the end output for me would be players that are taking me to the point where we can cross the line. And where I agree with Aztecs, where we're like, we need to go, like, we have to approach this window differently, is we don't have the liberty of moving. Like, Liverpool's just won the Premier League, and even they've moved with intent and force and whatnot. And bro, look at how well Liverpool started the market. And then the tragic news that we touched on at the top of the show has eventually, when we've I mean, God knows how long the grieving process is going to be for Liverpool, yeah. But at some point, they're going to have to get back to business, and now they've got another hole to fill, and that's got that nobody could have foreseen that. You get what I'm trying to say? So you just, even with how well they've approached the market, they found themselves in a position where there's another hole to fill. You get what I'm saying? Because of the tragic loss that the football community faced. So.
But even with them, we don't know whether, until Liverpool do what they do, we won't know whether they will rush that business or take their time to find the right player, what they're looking for that position. Yeah, because they established what they needed in terms of works and got the deal done early. They got Frimpong done early, and even City did some business early on. Do you get what I'm saying? But bro,
my issue again is you keep talking about what other people are doing. The only time we need to consider what other people are doing is when we consider how it will affect the leverages on the business that we need to do. So we now know that Liverpool need a forward, maybe two now. We know that Tottenham want a forward. We know that Manchester United want a forward. Now, granted, Tottenham finished 17th, but they offer the same thing that we can offer: a chance at the Premier League and Champions League football. So. We know that they need a striker. Manchester United, as much as they might be in the doldrums, they're still a big club, and they overpay players typically. I know they're trying to change the culture, but that's what they typically do. So they're always going to be an attractive prospect. And then obviously you've got us. So that's four major teams that are looking for strikers. That's just in the Prem, and that's not to consider Saudi that's coming in with their mad peas money that's going to be tempting people away, and other clubs.
But I feel like the striker thing with us. I feel like we're moving forward with the striker.
We are moving forward. But what I'm just trying to say, just forget the striker, just in general, like in terms of when you're leveraging in the football market, in terms, if you identify your target, go for your target, do it soon, do it promptly, negotiate. I'm a fan of negotiation, by the way. I'm not saying pay over the odds. I'm a fan of negotiation, but if negotiation isn't going in your favor, you have to do a personal benefit analysis.
So what negotiation isn't going in Arsenal's favor at the moment, where they need to move forward onto another target?
So in my opinion, we should have had the striker locked in by now. We should have had it locked in. You get what I'm saying? So you agree your personal terms, you work out what the money is, and then it's like, all right, cool, they want this. No, we want to pay that. Eventually, you find some middle ground. The cost benefit analysis is, all right, cool, we might have to pay a bit more, but guess what the benefit would be? You links up with the team sooner. We start adapting up, because we're gonna have to adapt our style.
But let's say
wait 1 second. Just wait, because if we get a Victor Gyökeres, we're gonna have to adapt our style. We're gonna be a bit more direct. We're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to work on that on the training pitch, on the training ground. We're gonna have to do that in our pre-season tour. You need him in early in order to do that. So the benefit for us, we might have to pay a little bit more, but the benefit to us warrants paying a little bit more. That's how negotiation works.
So wait.
I'm gonna wait until 31st of September, or whenever the freaking.
But so if they get Gyökeres in within the next week, isn't that not getting him in early?
If we do get Gyökeres in within the next week, we'd be fine. We'd be okay.
Are Arsenal fans kind of moving ahead of the clock a little bit, because
with good reason.
But what I'm trying to say is, if they've got Gyökeres in next week, or within 2 weeks, and he's still made pre-season training and still go on tour with them, isn't that not getting the player in time?
If we do it within the next 10 days, then
So
I'm telling you that the feel-good factor would be there. But guess what? Don't be disingenuous.
Let me learn.
You're going on as if we're used to having business done. We're not used to having the only time we had business done whereby we were happy, the Declan Rice deal, and that dragged a little bit. You might go, then you go back.
That was a difficult deal. That was a difficult deal to get over the line. West Ham made that difficult, did they not?
They did.
That wasn't. What did you expect?
Let's stay on track.
Wait. Because you brought up the Declan Rice deal, yeah. didn't that Declan Rice deal drag because West Ham made the deal difficult? Hasn't the Sheshko deal drag? What even with what's gone on today, with the fact that they won't budge on the 80 or 90
then
million,
move on to Gyökeres. Like, so you see what we've done
but
today.
We
should have done that. We should have been done that.
No. But wait. But how could, brother, the game, these big 90 million, 80 million, 70 million pound deals don't just move. If you was doing a deal, a business deal, yeah, you're doing a business deal. Would you expect it to happen over a space of a day, 2 days, a week?
It depends
for big money. When there's
it depends how good my my sporting director is. It depends how good my sporting director.
Where's my business people in the chat that can kind of give me some light on this? A big deal don't happen over that, bro. It don't happen overnight, and yes, in hindsight, it would be lovely for the first week. No, I'm not saying stuff. I'm not saying stuff because let me land.
Yesterday.
Let me land. Yeah, let me land because obviously Šeško was the target. Yeah, Arsenal have been trying to get this deal done with Šeško for how long? Yeah, they're not budging. Arsenal still and this is different from how Arsenal even moved. They still lined up another striker. Yeah, when have you seen deals where we're lining up other players in the same position in case that one falls? We've got the trigger to pull on another one. I don't see us moving like that. Yeah, but we've done that. Yeah, so we've had 2 strikers, but one being the main target, and we've tried to get that deal gone, trying to get it moving, and RP haven't played ball. So what have they done? Instantly, they've moved on to the next striker, Gyökeres, where it's looking like that is now where we're gonna go. So even with the things that you would have been asking the club to do, they're doing it, but it's still not good enough.
I don't think you're you know what you're saying is valid, but what you do and what you're doing is you're dismissing.
I'm not dismissing anything
because what you're not understanding. I don't think you're intentionally being disingenuous, but you're completely you're not getting the fact that we don't typically do our business in a timely fashion. Bro, we did nothing in January, just this January, this same 2025, we did nothing in January. Yeah. And last summer, we did nothing to the point.
But how long has the transfer window been open?
Can I just finish what I'm saying, bro? Because we didn't do anything to the point where we ended up signing Raheem Sterling in the last minute of the transfer window. So I don't begrudge Arsenal fans that are a little bit nervous and want to get the business done early. Guess what I am in favor of? Guess what I am? Zubimendi, that was good, done in good time. Nordgaard, whether I like the transfer or not, done in good time. Kepa, done in good time. All that stuff, right? Cool, brilliant. The major priority, the priority signing, striker. If that's done in the next 7 to 10 days, I'll be okay. But in my opinion, should have been done by now. And then the winger, which a lot of people will say is a priority signing. Again, we should be a lot closer to doing that deal.
All right, so you just, brother, even what you're saying now, Straz, you've just just basically said just kind of proved my point. Some deals are easier to get over the line quicker than some deals are. Yeah, you just said it because you said Nordgaard, they got it done quick. Zubimendi, they were in early. Yeah, all right. Wait, let me land. Yeah, Zubimendi, they were in early. Yeah, Zubimendi, they were in early. Nordgaard, they got done quick. Kepa, they got done quick, yeah. So now, in terms of, like I've said, them negotiating with RP Leipzig, it's been difficult, yeah. Even at some points, we were seeing reports that even Sporting didn't want to honor the agreement that they had with Gyökeres, yeah, and didn't want to get that, and didn't want to honor the price tag and all of these other things. So these are deals that even Fabinho has come and said that these are deals that are complicated. They're not just as straightforward as we're going to do this and goal bonus and this, that, and you can just boom, here we go. These are complicated deals that in maybe 2-3 years ago would have dragged on till maybe the 1st of September when the transfer window shuts. But we're here, right? The transfer window has been open, a matter of a week and a bit, and we've bought in 3 or 4 players.
The window's been open since the beginning of June.
But it shut though. It opened only for the Club World Cup. They opened it early. They opened it early for the Club World Cup. They opened it early and also what I saw as well, something that I saw the other day, what was part of it was that the reason why Liverpool were able to move early is because their financial year was over from June. and Arsenal's. So from May the 31st, from May the 31st was the end of Liverpool's financial year, which allowed them to start business in the new financial year a month early. Yeah, whereas Arsenal's financial year shut in June, and that meant from July the 1st was where their new financial year started. Why you're seeing all the announcements being made in July. So that is part of the reason why Liverpool were able to do business early, because I'm guarantee you, if their financial year was in July, they would have sewn up all their business, and you wouldn't have seen the announcements till now. And that is,
yeah. I mean, I can't confirm nor deny that. But what you can do though is, and we've seen it happen. We know it happens in football. You agree your deal outside of the window, outside of the market, and in the moment the market's available, you just put pen to paper, signature's done.
Mm-hmm. No, I hear you, but I just think it's not. I don't think it's complicated because they're penny pinching. Because this is the thing: if a club is trying to hold you to ransom for a player, where the valuations are different, where they're saying we want 90 million for the player, but the player's not valued at 90 million, does that mean we just go out and pay the 90 million? Isn't the whole part of negotiating for a player like part of the process? Do you get what I'm saying? We've done it where we've seen teams overpay for players. We saw United go and pay 100 million for Antony. Even we went and paid 75 million for Pepe. Isn't it not about getting players in for the right price?
I hear your points here, and the thing is, I don't even make none of us are wrong or right. We're just two guys that have got different opinions here, and how we even got onto this.
Loose cannons. That's why the title is loose cannons. No, you get what I'm saying? As
I'm listening to you, I'm like, you know what? I just remember, this is why we have so many varying opinions, and I said it when we got onto this. I just think that I just think I'm more ambitious. Because you're more
ambitious because I still want to. No, but bro,
you do want all these things, but you're happy to wait. You're happy to make all these excuses. You're happy to be like,
it's not about making excuses.
Berta needed to have annual leave, so you got to wait for Berta, man.
Strabs. Yeah, it's not about you being more ambitious than anyone, bro. Just because you can rant and rave about the fact you want it all done now. I'm saying I still want a striker to come in. We still share the same fucking aspirations,
You just don't mind waiting for it.
I'm not about not mind waiting for it. It's just that this is what it's doing. I'm not gonna be like you and get mad because things are taking long. Because it's gonna take.
Mad.
Wait. Let me land. Because it's gonna take whatever time it's gonna take. Because our opinions do not make the club speed up or slow down. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's going to move how it's going to move. Yeah, I just choose not to get. I just choose not to get all hyped up about it. I choose because no matter how I feel, it's not going to change the time frame in which Arsenal move on signing their player. So
you get hyped up about it, but you get hyped up in defending it. So
I don't get hyped up in defending it. I get hyped up in defending my opinion. Because I get attacked for my opinion, not because
I'm not
defending. You are, because what you're saying.
I just labeled it.
That's what I'm talking about. Because remember, everything I say isn't factual. Yeah, it isn't like I've got the. I'm just always a person. Yeah, that always when things are happening the way they're happening in real time, I try to understand the reasons behind why it's happening. Yeah, I don't just run with one narrative. Yeah, because I could say they're penny pinching and they're taking long because Arsenal don't want to spend the money. But then there could be another factor to it. There could be other options to it. My mind works is that I explore all the options, yeah? So I bring all the options to the table. That is how I look at football, innit, yeah? It's just not one way or the other way. It's not black and white. There are so many grey areas in football, yeah? I
do all of that as well. So while I do all of that, I also make reasons as to why things can get done in a quicker fashion. And I also look at things as to reasons to why things may be delayed. And then once I come to some sort of balance, I then make my assertion on the matter, and I'm like, actually, I think you could do better there. And all I'm saying is the way that I rationalize things is maybe I should use the word more ambitious, but I tend to want more from a situation, whereas I think you are a little bit more lenient.
No. What it is, and this is why I always love having conversations with you, is because you're the fan, and this might lead us on to our next segment, the type of fans, because we were chatting about this midweek, and the type of fans that we have is the fact that You're more on a tip that if people don't see it the way that I see it, I'm this different type of fan to the rest of them. Like we ain't all paid to go to games, that we all don't support the same club, that we don't all have the same aspirations and ambitions for the club. But you feel no, but wait, because you feel that your way is the way, that everyone else that doesn't see it your way is not on your level. And that is where it is. That is 100, because what you just told me, wait, because you just said it yourself. Wait.
I didn't say you weren't on my level. Because all I did was describe the way that we process situations.
Yeah, but you said I'm less ambitious than you. You just said, so that means you're telling me that I'm not as ambitious as where your ambitions lie. Do you get what I'm saying? Okay, so you said it, not me. You said it. But my ambition is for the club to win. I want my club to win. I want us to win the Premier League. I want us to win the Champions League. But I can only go off of what my club is doing. I can't imagine the perfect scenario and be mad because the perfect scenario isn't happening. I can only react and go off of the here and now.
Yeah, but everyone can react and go off the here and now.
Yeah, but then that don't make me less ambitious,
bro.
I'm not hearing it.
I know you're not. That's the thing. I actually know you're not hearing it. But unfortunately, my brother, there's words in it, and you could use a different word if you like. You might call me delusional. You know what I mean? You might say, "Oh, you know what, bro? Because you believe it should be in this way, you're delusional." But I might describe it as, "No, I'm not delusional. I'm just ambitious in that sense."
But I don't. But the thing is, I don't.
Wait, because we've come in fair times. But what I'm trying to say here is, I'm not actually attacking you, and I'm not saying I'm a level above you or below you or nothing like that. I'm just describing what it is. It's like, for instance, I might do something with like, so why not Arteta, the guy that keeps commenting, why not Arteta's the loser? So me and why not? We could be doing something together, where we might have a project and we want the same goals, and I might say, yo, why not? I need to do this in 5 days. He says, all right, cool, man, but I don't mind if we do it in 9 days. My ambition to do it in a quicker time might mean I was more ambitious. That doesn't mean I'm better than him or less than him. It might mean I'm quite. No. I'm using a different example just because you're taking it like I'm cussing you, but I'm not. I'm just saying that I want to get to a goal in a particular way where you're a bit more patient than I am, and the ambition that I have means that I'm eager to have it now.
Yeah, no.
You might mean I'm. That might make me delusional.
So wait. So are you telling me I don't want us to win the Premier League?
Fam, brother, where did you get that from, bro?
No, because you're saying like you're talking like your ambition is to have it all now.
You probably do want us to win the Premier League, but if
I probably do. Wait. You said I probably do.
Yeah, I'm saying you probably do. I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. I'm not you.
And this is the talk I'm talking about. I'm not you. You know you gotta laugh. You gotta laugh.
Bro, like, I talk how I talk.
No, but you know what it is, you can be joking, right? Because in your heart of hearts, you can't admit it that, man, yes, we share the same ambition for wanting to win things with our clubs, bro.
Yeah, but I'm saying you take a
but we have,
there.
But you will never admit that there can be two different outlooks on things. I can thoroughly take on board your ways in it. Like
I can take on board your ways.
No, you can't, Straz, because if you could,
taking them on board.
If you could take on board our ways, you would understand my outlook on things. But you don't
understand your outlook. But you're getting triggered because I use one word, and I'm not getting triggered.
I'm not triggered. I am just, like I always say, defending my opinions.
Okay,
you get what I'm saying?
And your outlook. So obviously, with your outlook here. If I'm saying that under no circumstances am I willing to take
Aztec's laughing because he understands what I'm having to deal with here. I'm fighting for my life out here. You see what I'm going to deal with, Aztecs, yeah? Come on, man.
If you're like okay with a signing of Noni Madueke's level because you can understand it.
No, but listen, wait. I never said I was happy.
No, I never said you. No, I never said you was happy. I said if you're okay with it because you might be able to understand the mechanics and thinking behind it. But I'm saying under no circumstances am I even willing to consider that.
But
I'm just saying that we have a difference in opinion there. My difference of opinion would be like the reason why I'm not willing to consider that is I don't think that he is going to lead us to that Premier League title where I want it, and I want that now. Whereas you're probably thinking, no, but this guy could be depth and we could get there. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, you want a Premier League, but the way I'm going to obviously see it is oh, you can't win it now then. You must win it maybe in 2 years' time or whatnot. And I might be wrong, but I'm just thinking you're willing to take as long as it takes in order for us to build a perfect team.
But it's not because cool. So
am I wrong there?
You're wrong because let's say we don't get
Would you sack Arteta if he doesn't win the Premier League?
Would I sack him this season if he didn't win the Premier League? We spoke about this under the circumstances. It depends. Under the circumstances under which we lost the Premier League. Remember, we spoke about this last episode, yeah? For those that haven't watched it, those watching that didn't watch it, go and check it out. It's in there, yeah? And we spoke about this. I said, and I think you asked me in the last episode, if by Christmas we was out of the title race and whatnot, would I sack Arteta? That's what you asked me, yeah? Mm-hmm. And I said, even then, I said it would depend on where we are in all the other cups and domestic stuff, yeah? For me, if we're out of the FA Cup, we're out of certain things, the Premier League's looking like a long ball, like at some point you're going to have to say, boy, we might have to go and look at something else here. You get me? Now, if we didn't win...
for you to sack Arteta, it's got to go horrifically...
Stop gassing it up, man. Stop adding Stop adding bare seasoning to the wording, man.
All I'm trying to explain to you is... I'm trying to say that you're a bit more patient than me.
It hasn't but we know this, though. We know this because you're Arteta out, man, for 2 seasons ago.
So what's the problem then?
There's no problem, because we both share different views on this, yeah.
And we want the same thing,
we want the same thing, but like I said, with Arteta, right. And the thing is, you have a way of thinking that anyone that defends Arteta is this Arteta, and you got some words for it, yeah. And you ain't that, and in 2 shows you haven't said it, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna let you slide with that. You've been gracious enough not to be out here sending insults, innit? But it's not a case of that. Like for me, and the whole Arteta thing is like because of where he's taken us from, and we've been over this. I don't want to keep going over it. Like, it doesn't mean I give him grace, yeah, or I give him this, but I did say to you this season, you got to bring something home. And I think the problem that we have now is with Arsenal is that, like, only 2 things matter and only 2 things will do. And that's the thing where other teams, they'll go and win an FA Cup, they'll go and win a Europa League, they'll go and win a Carabao Cup, and they'll celebrate that. And it's like, well, if Arsenal's to do it, no, it's not good enough for them to win that. They have to. Our now options are Champions League and Premier League or bust. And that is the situation and where we've kind of put ourselves in, where I feel like some clubs have that outlook, but then at the same time, if, like, they deliver on other things, it's still appreciated. Whereas for us, it's just a case of like, listen, if we don't win the Premier League or we don't win the Champions League, nothing else will do. Do you get what I'm saying? So, like I said, this season, something has to come home in order to justify carrying on. Because if we've got this team that has the potential to win a Premier League, like I feel like even with the team as it is, we've shown last season and the season before that it has the potential to be up there and challenge, innit? Yeah. And in some cases, like the season before, we lost it by 1 point. I feel like that was our season to do it, and we couldn't. But if he can't get us over the line, and it is looking like, and we come away empty-handed again, then Arteta would have to leave. He would, because do you give him another? Do you give him another run up? It is a difficult one. Do you get me? Do you give him another run up to go again, to spend more money, to try again?
For me, it was never difficult. It was never difficult. Like I think he's already he's in borrowed time. So, and that's what I mean. I just feel like I'm just a little bit more impatient, and maybe that's what I'm saying. Maybe I could have used the wrong word. So when I'm saying more ambitious, I might not be more ambitious. I might just be more impatient. I might be more delusional.
Very much. You
can look at it, but you can use very different words. But the word I choose to use is ambitious, because for me, bro, you should have won something by. You should have won something else other than that FA Cup by now.
Yeah, no, 100%, and it's not happened. So it's like we are here where we are, innit? Do you get what I'm saying?
And so I think, obviously for the type of fan, is it fair to say that in terms of the type of fan I am, I'm a little bit more eager to win stuff now?
Thirsty, very thirsty to win.
Yes, but I do believe that even with all of that, I still think I can maintain a balanced, impartial opinion on all, because I will still big up Arteta for all this good stuff that he's done. But
yeah,
although despite what I want, I still think I can be balanced and I can be very measured. So
yeah.
So I personally just think that as a fan, like you should really just be like me. But
yeah, but this is the thing, we can't. I was joking.
I was joking with that. I was just joking.
Yeah, no, we all can't be the same, fam. And I think that if certain things, I'm always happy to agree to disagree. But in the long short of it is, we all want the same. We all want the same. Like we all want the. Like I would love nothing more for us to win the Champions League and kind of shut the whole entire rest of these fan bases up.
But then you know what? You do me a favor. Then, if that's what you want, can all your assertions, can all your opinions, can it lend to that fact? Because if you want the Champions League, if you want the Premier League, then do not settle for Mandem Madueke. Join me on the front line.
But listen, but if Madueke comes, what are you gonna do? Be angry the whole season?
Probably.
I can't do that. I can't see. I'm not a person.
I'm gonna be
because that reminds me of certain fans, right? That reminds me of certain fans that have platforms that they sing when it's winning, and when it don't go their way, they're in destruct mode. And it's and the thing is,
football fan.
Yeah, it's the usual football fan. But then what I'm trying to say is,
you're sad when you lose and you're happy when you win.
You win, but then also, I'm a football fan too. Do you get me? However you make it, whatever doesn't make anyone more of a less of a fan than anybody else, because we're all fans. I've been an Arsenal fan my entire life, and I'm a big man now. Do you get me? I go games, I do my thing, same like you. So we've all spent our money on shirts, we've all spent our money, we're all invested in the same thing, innit? But the way I look at it is different from the way a next man looks at it. And I'm entitled to look at it my way. So you're entitled to look at it your way. And it don't make me any less ambitious. I'm just trying to recruit
you. I'm just trying to recruit you my way. I'm not, because I can't. We need to be going for excellence.
Yeah, but if everyone, put it this way, if everyone thinks like this and goes into the season with some form of animosity to the team, yeah, like one thing I've seen, right?
No, that's not animosity.
I
just don't want us to just be only content with UCL qualification.
I hear it, but then sometimes when as a fan base do we start to? Because you remember like the season when we finished second the first time, yeah?
Yeah.
It was amazing. Like
we all thought we turned the corner.
We did turn a corner, because we went from not competing, not to being in anything, to competing.
No. But when I say turn a corner, we all thought that this club, they are going to win the Premier League and they want to win the Premier League. But then time showed that actually this club was okay, just being in the mix, challenge for the title and securing Champions League qualification. If they wanted to win the Premier League, then you wouldn't have had the January that we had.
Yeah, I hear it, and brother, you're gonna at some point, bro, you're gonna have to forgive Arsenal for that January window that you keep on referring to, bro. Because
I'll try to.
I'm not gonna spend another hour with you chatting about the January.
I'm ready to wrap up when you are.
We're good, because I say it to be funny, because I know, brother, if we get onto, I've spent many a nights with you chatting about this transfer window for hours, bro. Like at some point, because that's when fans have to move forward from January. Yes,
that was the eye opener. That was the eye opener. That eye opener was like, oh shit.
So now
I'm arguing with all these other rival fans, but actually, you don't want what I want. So
all right, but let's say, all right, let's say now, Arsenal go and get all the targets, like all the above, like what we said, right?
Yeah.
Just know that. Had we got Ollie Watkins in January, some of these players that we may go and get will not be coming.
But we might have a trophy.
But we might not have. We might not have.
So basically, we're both just going to do hypotheticals, basically.
Yeah, basically, because we will never know. We will never know. But it could have gone the other way. But then I would rather be here now where we are, and we don't know. Like, obviously, I would have rather have been with a Premier League title last season. Do you get what I'm saying? Or maybe even got a bit further in the Champions League. Do you get what I mean? To know what we don't know. But I'd rather be in this position of optimism that we could actually do something magical in this window and get some real good talent in, than fucked up the January transfer window and got a player in that never really got us above the line, because I don't feel like Ollie Watkins pushes the needle. It's just getting a striker in for the sake of getting a striker in.
So this is,
you get what I'm saying?
This is This is why I would argue that you're being unfair there, because actually, what Ollie Watkins is prem proven. I think he's hit 20 goals or close by there within these last 2 or 3 seasons. His goals isn't an issue for him. And other than Erling Haaland, I don't think we've ever seen a striker imported from another European league come in and hit 20 goals in his first season. So actually, the probabilities and the odds are actually probably more in favor of Ollie Watkins coming in and scoring more goals at Arsenal. So really, truly, us fans, I'm not even saying you're guilty of it, because maybe I am as well. As fans, we are guilty of craving a name brand or the new shiny toy that we're unfamiliar with. But actually, if you actually look at the mechanics and the stats that go with this stuff, actually Ollie Watkins probably was more of a dead cert in terms of hitting the ground running today. So which means if we had got him in January, we could be having a completely different conversation, because we might be here sitting here with trophies, bro.
But all right, cool, I hear you and I agree with you on that one. But fast forward to now, if we got Ollie Watkins in on this window, would you be happy with that?
Watkins now, because you should have got him in Jan.
No, forget, because if we got him in Jan, that means he's here now. That means
if we get him now, I'll be like, why didn't you just get him when we could have got him back then? I'll be like incompetent.
But if he was,
I wouldn't be happy. To answer your question, I wouldn't be happy. I'd be like, it'd be incompetent. But it's not for the reasons you're thinking.
No, but for me personally, if we was going into this season with Ollie Watkins as our striker that we got from Jan and not being able to be in the mix to get a new striker in, I'd be upset. Because we would have done our striker business in January, sitting here with a striker, maybe looking at Rodrigo and trying to get upset about and get excited about that. But then we know we're going into the next season with Ollie Watkins.
But then guess what? Again,
United are linked with Ollie Watkins now, and them man don't win him.
No, but guess what? It lends to my point. Yeah, it lends to my point that Arsenal aren't ambitious, because why should that be your mentality? Man United just freaking blew their load on a stinker and freaking Rasmus Højlund, and then they're looking at another striker. They're not wasting no time. But what you're telling me is Arsenal would basically just rest their laurels on just basically rest all their hopes on Watkins, irrespective. And I probably make you right, because we are not an ambitious football club.
No, but I feel like not even that. I feel like had we got Ollie Watkins, I just feel like financially it would have mashed us up in terms of maybe the business we would have done this season. Dependent. But I feel like it may not have, let's say, and this is like a lot of would have, but let's say Ollie Watkins came in and we won the Premier, let's just say, then maybe because of the Premier League winning that money, being in that kind of would have maybe opened the door to maybe bringing in another striker and doing whatever. But if we never, I don't know. It's just swings and roundabouts. The
truth is, we actually, like I said in the last episode, we actually need 2 strikers anyway. But we know we're probably not going to do it.
No, so we might see Watkins in this window for sure. You get me? if we can get him for a Villa, put it this way, we can get Ollie in for 35 mil this window. Would you say that's good business?
If we could get
behind Gyökeres,
bro, perfect, bro. That would be absolutely. I'd be like, who is this football club?
To be honest, if
I'd be happy to be here, FC like you, bro.
I'll take Mateta as well. If we get Gyökeres, I'll take Mateta.
Okay.
Man read the comment and had to think about it. Yeah.
No, I was just thinking about it. Like I can see how your mind's working. I see how your mind's working there.
I think Mateta's a bad boy. I think Mateta's sick. I was even saying that United should be looking at a player. If United got Mateta, I'd be like, fuck it. That's a bit dangerous. Kuna in Bremer and Mateta, like because he's actually a good player. But if we was just to get him and him solely, him leading the line for Arsenal, I don't know. But then you never know. It's like even when we got Giroud in. Like, yes, Giroud was one of those, like, he didn't have to pay some whatever, but he just had something about him. You just don't know. Like, he might, but then does he have it to carry us over the line, which Giroud didn't? He went, 12 games without a goal, was it? Or 30?
Yeah.
He went in that run when Leicester beat us to the title. So that's what you got to ask yourself in the times when you need someone to do a mad thing. Is Mateta or even Ollie Watkins going to be the guy that's going to carry your side to glory when you need goals and you need these, the madman moments when you need these players? And that's the problem that we have. But if you can If
As
you
long
could,
as long as it, I mean, as long as it was supplemented with another striker like a Gyökeres, you know. Like, so if it was two of them, then yeah, you're not complaining. If it was just like a Mateta, or if it was just like a Watkins, then yeah, you probably would feel a little bit underwhelmed, so to speak. So yeah, I think it just all depends. But yeah, man, let's just see. Like there's more of the window to come. And you know what? As much as I've been critical, Arsenal are getting their business done early, you know, and I just hope when by the time we finish doing our business, I'm happy. That's what I hope. I hope I'm happy at the end of it. I hope I'm not underwhelmed, and I hope that I feel confident that we can challenge Liverpool, Man City, and even Chelsea that will be knocking on the door. I hope that we can pick them all to a title because, yeah, man, I've still got a grand bet that we're going to win the Premier League before Manchester United, bro. So I need to get that grand, bro.
Cash that out, bro. Cash that out. And listen, before we wrap up, I just want to say, Gaza Tally, big up yourself. Big up yourself. Where else was it? Just quickly get your other comment up. Watching on Twitch. Victor needs to come and bag 30 plus first season.
That would be the freaking. Hey, that would be the dream, bro.
Listen, listen, and we might have to touch on what our outlook for the season and what we're expecting. I'm hoping by the time we shoot, there should be more signings. Because when we shot last week, we didn't expect. We was even questioning whether we was going to get Zubimendi.
We were skeptical about everything.
We were skeptical about a lot. So I'm hoping come next week that we might have something else to kind of be shouting about and seeing where we're moving. Yeah. But
I'm going to be shouting our predictions until our window is done. Still.
Yeah. And you know what? That might be dope. Like maybe go away, come back, come with some predictions, what we think is going to happen over the season or what we see ourselves doing. Yeah. We can touch on that. And listen, everyone that's locked in, listen, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you follow if you're watching on Twitch. Big up yourselves. You get me? This is me, Big Dog, with my boy Strives. Come on.
Jeez.
Yeah. And listen, we'll be back again in the next, probably in the next week or so. And we'll be arguing again. Like, for those that don't know, Loose Cannons, the title is because me and Strives go at it when it comes to Arsenal. So we're just a bunch of loose cannons on this thing. So trust me, looking again. You know what I mean? We'll be back at it. Big up yourselves. You know what I'm saying? Big up Tally on Twitch. You're done now, my people. Then we out.
Peace.
Peace.